Am I the asshole for threatening to kick out my niece after she hacked my daughter's Roblox account? My 38F daughter, 13F, has been playing this game called Roblox since lockdown first started as a way of playing with her friends virtually as well as curing her boredom. She was obsessed with this Roblox game that's set in a school because she missed her friends so much and it allowed her to stay connected with them. Her interest in video games has developed into an interest into technology. She's by far at the top of her IT class and has even started learning how to code in order to make her own game. My sister, 34F, and niece, 10F, have recently had to move in with us after my sister discovered that her husband was having an affair. They're staying at my house for the time being while she saves up money for a place of their own. My niece and daughter usually get along, and they both bond over their interest in Roblox. Last week, my daughter was completely distraught and crying non-stop. She said that she saw her cousin playing on a Roblox game and realized her cousin's avatar had a lot more items than usual. She decided to join her, only to realize that her account had been hacked and she'd lost nearly every item she had on her favorite Roblox game. She'd lost 800k of the in-game currency and nearly her entire inventory, which she claimed was worth over 5 million of the in-game currency. She had spent the last 4 years saving up for those items and everything was gone just like that. My daughter began accusing my niece of hacking her account. My niece denied it at first, but quickly broke under pressure and admitted everything. The previous day, they had been playing the game together when I called them down to dinner. My niece has only been playing for a few months and I suppose she would be considered a noob. She begged my daughter to give her some of her items, and my daughter refused, saying that she should earn the items by herself. When my daughter came down, my niece decided to stay behind for a minute to transfer all of my daughter's items into her account. I tried to mediate the situation, but my sister is refusing to cooperate. She told me that it's only a game, it's not like my daughter spent real money on it. I attempted to explain just how much this game means to my daughter. To which my sister said that my daughter should count herself lucky that her biggest problem is a bunch of pixels on a screen. She said my daughter was a teenager now and was too old to be acting this immature over a game. My niece refuses to give my daughter her stuff back and says it's unfair that my daughter gets to have everything she wants both in real life and online. I told my sister and niece that both of them were acting like ungrateful brats considering how I was letting them stay in my home rent-free. Today, I gave her an ultimatum. If my niece doesn't return everything she hacked from my daughter, they would both have 1 week to leave. I told her that I refuse to let anyone disrespect my daughter under my roof. Am I the asshole? Update. AITA for threatening to kick out my niece after she hacked my daughter's Roblox account? Thank you all for your advice. My sister and niece moved out last week. She's in the process of getting an apartment and they're temporarily staying with a friend of my sister's for the time being. I warned her that if I contacted the developers, they would get her daughter banned. So either way my niece wasn't keeping the stuff she stole. So she should try minimize her losses. She claimed I had no proof her daughter hacked the account and refused to compromise. She said I was petty and childish for making them homeless over a kid's video game. And don't get me wrong, I feel bad. I really do. My sister and I never really got along as kids, so I was hoping at least our kids could have a good relationship with each other. But still, they were inevitably going to leave at some point, so I suppose I only sped up the process. Now that my niece is gone, my daughter seems a lot happier now. She told me she was perfectly fine, but I knew her well enough to know that she wasn't. Some very kind and generous people here have offered to gift her some of their items to rebuild her account. To which I am extremely grateful, but my daughter said she felt bad about taking stuff from other people. I'd already reported my niece's account, which seemed to have no effect. I'm not very tech savvy, but I considered contacting the Roblox developers to see if they could reverse the transaction. However, my daughter informed that doing so would only ban the account, losing all of my daughter's items in the process. I would like to extend all my thanks to the commenter that suggested I try and log in to my niece's account. Believe it or not, it only took 5 attempts. Turns out that 10-year-olds don't have the best comprehension of internet security. Surprisingly, getting into the account was the easy part. I spent an embarrassingly long amount of time looking up how to trade everything back. I swear I'm getting old. I couldn't tell which items were my daughter's and which were actually my niece's, so I simply transferred everything my niece had just to be safe. When she came home from school today, I told my daughter I had a fun surprise for her waiting on Roblox. Words can't describe how proud of myself I felt when I saw the joy rush back into her face. The ironic part is that my niece had previously won this very rare Halo item from this sort of lottery system, which my daughter claims is one of the most expensive items in that game. Now it was transferred to my daughter's account, meaning that my daughter walked out of this situation richer than she was to start with. My sister just messaged me in all caps yelling at me that my niece has been through so much and I was just kicking her when she was down. She accused me of stealing from a little girl. I simply told her that, in her own words, it's just a bunch of pixels on a screen. Thank you to everyone for your support.